There are some people who do not like fiction at all. They think it's meaningless and a waste of time. And to them, I say, how dare you? You don't get it. To other people, they think that fiction is great, but more just like as a fun little extra thing. A hobby, it's frivolous, it's a fun little escape, but nothing more. And to them I say, you don't get it either. Fiction is so meaningful and powerful and can speak to us in ways that nothing else can. I remember one of the first times that I encountered the fact that people have a different relationship from stories than me. I was a kid in my living room getting the TV set up for my grandma to watch Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. She saw that we had it on DVD. Her and my grandpa were visiting for the week. They didn't have anything going on that day, so she asked if I could get things set up so that she could watch it, because she has no idea how to work our DVD player. So I'm getting the DVD in, I'm switching the TV over, I'm using all the remotes that you have to use to get the audio to work. And my grandma at one point, this isn't related to anything, she just goes, oh, there's just so much technology and it's advancing and it's faster and faster, and pretty soon you won't be able to do anything without having to know all this technology. But hopefully I'll be dead by then. And I'm just this awkward little kid hunched down in front of the TV like, what, Grandma? I've never heard someone talk so casually about death before. And you know what? Technology has continued to advance. And Grandma is still around to see it. We've got self-driving cars, we got holograms of ABBA, and you're stuck here to check it out, Grandma. So it's while I'm getting everything set up on the TV that my grandma tells me that part of the reason why she didn't get to see Lord of the Rings in theaters is because my grandpa doesn't really like that type of story. He doesn't like things that couldn't actually happen. I didn't know that that was a thing. I didn't know that there were people like that. But I guess at the time it made sense that if something is so far removed from our reality, if it's got elves and wizards and a little creepy naked guy who's obsessed with a ring that turns him invisible, yeah, I could see that doesn't feel like your normal everyday life. You don't see that around your neighborhood all the time, so maybe it's hard for you to connect with that. But then later on in life is when I met people who just, it wasn't even like, because that, like, my grandpa still would like fiction. It's just like not fiction that is so far removed from reality. It could be like, give me fiction about a suburban life. Give me fake stories about things that are real and make sense to me. But then there are other people that I met who are just like, I don't want any story that is made up. I don't want to watch, read, or listen to anything that is not true, did not actually happen, or is not currently happening. I need dates. I need names of presidents and generals. I need descriptions of tanks. I need it to be real. And like that is crazy to me. You don't want any story that's fake. You don't want any story that's made up. It has to be a real story for it to be meaningful for you. Lynda Barry is an artist and writer, and I love the way that she talks about what art can do for us because I feel like it fits so perfectly with fiction. She compares it to the way that doctors have found to treat patients who deal with phantom pain. Phantom pain is the phenomenon where someone has lost a limb, but they still think that they can feel it. They describe it as like somebody who has lost an arm, but it still feels like that arm is there. And not just there, it feels like that arm is clenching a fist. And it won't stop clenching that fist. And imagine how awful that would feel. You don't have that arm there, but you feel it. You can still feel it. And it feels like try to make a fist as tight and as hard as you can. And imagine not being able to let go of that. Imagine just feeling that all day, every day. And it's not like, well, just unclench your fist. There's no fist there, but my brain still thinks that there is. And I just feel the tightening and tightening and tightening. The way that doctors have found to treat this is with this box that they have built, with an armhole on this side and an armhole on this side and a mirror in between. And when you stick both of your arms, or what's left of this arm and all of this arm in, and when you look down, you see the reflection of this arm over here. And when you're looking down, it's an optical illusion that makes it look like you have both of your arms again. And what they tell them to do is to make a fist with that hand and to let it go. Just open that fist and watch it happen. Look at where that phantom hand would be and watch it open up. And it's as if that is allowing your brain to open the clenched fist also. Because I was able to see a mirror of it reflected back to me, and it helped me release what was inside of me. And I think that is a beautiful image for what fiction can do for us. And I know that that can happen with nonfiction too. You can listen to real stories from real people and have that same thing. You can have the fist open up when you read a memoir or a biography and you hear someone else describe their own story. It can help you see your own more clearly. But sometimes we need things to be further apart. Sometimes we need a greater distance between our situation and the one that we are watching. When it's too close, sometimes it's not fun at all. When I am depressed, I don't want to necessarily watch a movie that is like, this is a movie about depression. Come watch this real life story of a really depressed person. There's probably a good chance that I'm not going to want to watch that movie when I am in a low mood. But give me a fake story. Give me something completely made up, and it allows me to see my story in a safer way. I think one of the best examples of the power of fiction comes from the Bible, the Old Testament. King David has just done something horrendous. His men are off at war. He stayed back. And while he's back, he sees a woman that he wants to have for himself. So he uses his power and authority as king to bring her to him, to sleep with her, and he gets her pregnant. And he is like, oh no, I have messed up. I have to cover my tracks. I know what I'll do. I'll have her husband come back from war because he's off fighting for the king. I'll have him come back, hang out with his wife, then she can tell him she's pregnant. He'll think it's his. Everything is solved and we can all move forward. Well, he invites the guy to come back and he's like, hey, why don't you go spend time with your wife? And he's like, I refuse. I will not even go inside. I will sleep on the front porch until all my men return home. And King David's like, oh, great. Not only did I do this, but I did it to a guy who's super noble and who's really getting in the way of me fixing all of this. If he wasn't such a good guy, I could get away with this. So what he does is he has the guy go back to war. Okay, don't sleep on the porch. Go back to your men. Go back to them. In fact, go to the front lines. In fact, he tells everybody else that when he's at the front lines, everyone else take a step back and allow him to be the first one, which means he's going to die. He is sending him off to be killed, which is exactly what happens. And so now it looks like, oh man, problem solved. She's pregnant. It'll be my baby. We don't have to worry about the husband. Everything is fine. But then a prophet shows up to David. Says he'd like to tell him a story of a man who is so wealthy, a man who has everything. He has so many sheep. His fields are filled with sheep. His neighbor only got one sheep, but this guy, he has a ton. But then one day the rich man is going to have a guest over for dinner. And what is he going to do to prepare for him? How is he going to be a good host? I don't want to use any of my sheep. I don't want to waste the ones that I have, so I will go next door and take the one sheep of my neighbor, and I will have it for myself, kill it, eat it, feed it to my person, and I don't have to lose anything from it. Ha ha, here I go, tee-hee-hee. And David hears this story and he is furious. He is outraged. He is like, how dare this guy? This is awful. This is terrible. Tell me who he is. We must bring justice. Who is this man? And Nathan, the prophet, looks at David and says, dude, it's you. You're the man. That's what you just did. That's your story that I just told back to you. And yes, the details are different. And yes, the story that he tells is a much smaller and much less significant story than the one that actually happened. Like, it is not a one for one. Like, human and sheep, those are not equal. I know that. And it's as if he tells him this story as a way of like, I'm going to show you the truth of your situation without any of the facts. I'm going to give you the truth of it. Here is the truth of who you are. Here is the truth of what you've done. Here is the truth of it. I'm changing every fact out so that it's easier for you to see it. I know what it's like to have parts of my life that I don't want to look at, that I want to be in denial about, that I don't want to admit to myself when I've been a jerk, or when I've been out of control, or when I have been dangerously low. And there have been times where I have been in denial and I don't want to look at it. And I know that there are conversations that are coming up where I could have to face it. And I don't want to face it. And I think that that can be a beautiful thing that fiction does for us. It can create a safe environment for us to begin to face it. That the facts are totally different. My life does not have talking cars in it, but I'm sure that there are parts of the Cars movies that when I watch them, I go, oh, Okay, that kind of hits close to home. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things about Lord of the Rings is how rich and how deep it is. And it's not a simple allegory. It is not a one for one of, well, this person's Christ and this person is sin and this person is this. And now we can see that all these things represent all these other things. And now you can see what the story really is. No, it's so much deeper than that. There are like moments and snapshots where it's like, I know the truth of what you're saying in this. And it's easier for me to look at it because of how fanciful and outrageous it all looks. I can be brought into it a little bit easier for me to get what I need out of the story. I started thinking a lot about this a couple of years ago when I started reading Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time. It was kind of embarrassing. I was reading chapter after chapter, and it felt like every couple of pages I was just weeping uncontrollably because I kept thinking about how meaningful and beautiful and important this book could be for a teenage girl, which I am not. The main character of the book is a teenage girl who's in the middle of that phase in adolescence where you feel so awkward, so insecure, you don't feel like you fit in, you don't feel like you have anybody. And it's not like Madeleine L'Engle is like pouring that on and giving these monologue after monologue where the character is complaining about it. No, she can fit it into the narrative. She can make it a part of the scenery. So like she has 3 siblings. 2 are identical twins, and 1 is this little boy who is a genius. Way too smart to the point where like it freaks other people out. And so this girl has 2 siblings that are perfectly connected, identical. They are in sync. They have somebody who knows them so well. They're always going off on adventures, the 2 of them, which leaves the oldest and the youngest. The one who feels like she should be growing up and becoming an adult and taking on responsibilities, and who worries about making a mistake, who worries about being an outcast. And she has to look out for her little brother, who is just so weird and doesn't even realize how weird he is. And yeah, he's really intelligent, but she's afraid that him being this smart is going to get him picked on. So she wants to help protect him from other people. Don't let these parts of yourself out. Don't share this with other people, which feels like the truth of so many teenagers. They don't even have to have twin siblings. They just feel like everybody else is better connected. They already have their place. They already have somebody in their life who knows them. And that relationship that she has with her younger brother, yeah, sometimes we can have that with other people, but also that can be the relationship that we have with ourselves. That like the childhood self that we are trying to hide and protect and trying to keep pushed down so that we can be the good adult, and I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to just kind of fit in with what everybody else is doing. And the book goes on this journey where this character realizes that it's so much better to be yourself, that everyone has gifts and abilities. And when we try to hide those, it gets in the way of people actually getting the help that they need. And it doesn't preach any of those things. It just puts you in the shoes of this teenage girl and puts you in her mind. And even though so many of the facts are so different from anything that I've experienced, there's so much truth in here. And it's easy for me to take that truth in because I'm not staring at something so intensely close to my own situation. And I can feed off of it. And I can learn from it. And I can grow from it. All because of this story that somebody completely made up. I mean, I didn't even use parables. You want to talk about made up stories? Jesus taught through made up stories all the time. And it is a lot of like pastors and leaders who I talk to who are like, I don't read fiction. I don't waste my time. I need to find facts that I can learn from and grow from. And that's what I need. I need input for output. But sometimes you step into a story and you have no idea how it's going to speak to you. You have no idea what words or phrases or images are going to get stuck in your imagination and completely change the way that you see the world. Fiction is powerful. I don't think I'm going to convince anybody to change their mind, and that is okay. Maybe this is more for the people who do love fiction and who feel insecure about it. Maybe you don't feel like you should be reading these books. Maybe you should be reading important books that have a number in the title, 8 ways or 7 ideas or 6 incredible, I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of nonfiction. It's okay that you love fiction. It's okay that it's meaningful and powerful. It's okay that it speaks to you. And if you've never had that experience with fiction before, maybe you're not reading very good stuff. Maybe there are better books out there that do want you to have a deeper relationship with them. They'd be worth finding. And the same is true with movies too. This isn't just books. Fiction is all around us, baby, and it's good. It helps with that phantom pain.